Good morning and welcome to the Student Hub Live. Today is the 4th of October. It's day 2 of our Refreshers and Orientation event to welcome new students and continuing students to the Open University and to talk about all things study related, to get you motivated, set up for your studies and to tell you one or two things you may not know about the Open University. Now, for those of you who've just joined us for the first time, welcome. This is a live, online, interactive event and I've organised a really exciting mix of people to come and talk to you about a range of things today. We're going to take a look at using feedback to transform the library, about how you can get involved volunteering with the OU, a look at the history of the OU, which is really exciting. And it makes you really proud to be part of such an amazing organisation, so we'll fill you in on that. We're going to talk about learning styles and what type of learner you are. That'll be really good. The Graduate School, the Open University Students Association. We've got some tutors coming in. I know there's been a lot of talk yesterday about tutors, so we've got Georgina and Matt coming to answer all your questions. So anything you want to know that we can put to our tutors, do let us know. We're going to talk about some of the things the Open University has been doing in the news and, again, student feedback. So that's all in the day session, and we've got some stuff lined up for you tonight as well, including a space science chat. Stay tuned at 6 for that. Managing your study workload, and also about benchmarking and setting your expectations for the next academic year. So an awful lot to get through, but we had an amazing day yesterday, which is all available on the catch-up, and I've learnt that we must, this is my to-do list, must sort out my referencing tools. I'm not going to put my mobile by my bed because sleep hygiene is important. I'm not joining Davin's New Religion. Highlighting without purpose is bad, and that there are 2 forms of highlighting, short and long term. So I'm making a list of things that I'm picking up for my own studies as well. Now, we've got lots of people on our hot desk today, and this morning we've got HJ and Lee. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you both?
Very well, very well. Yeah, absolutely.
I think we're excited to start today. We've got lots of chat already, which is really great. And I'm sure everyone who's been before knows that anything goes in the chat box. So your thoughts, comments and questions for our guests, just pop them in there and they'd love to hear from you. We're having lots of great chats about what we've had for breakfast this morning. So Sally's saying scrambled egg and bacon. I hear there's been offers of cakes as well.
Absolutely, there's definitely been offers of cakes this morning. And from people everywhere. There's people tuning in from Northampton, London, High Wycombe, Essex, Glasgow, South Wales, everywhere. So a really big bunch of sort of students this morning as well.
And lots of new students as well, which is great. So Sanjita is joining us. So hello. Very nervous this morning, so hopefully we got lots of great tips from you. Maria and Halima, they're new as well, so we've got lots of helpful stuff for you today. And people getting ready for tutorials, and I see there's lots of coffee in the chat as well, so that's always good. We've got a long day today.
Absolutely.
But yes, anything goes in the chat. Send us your thoughts, comments and questions. We're also on Twitter at Student Hub Live, and people have been sending lots of stuff that we put on our board, so all their great study tips, and we learnt a lot yesterday. So if you've got anything you want to send us, at Student Hub Live, or our email address, studenthub@open.ac.uk. And I'd love to put your tip or a picture of your favourite mug or study buddies on the board as well.
Thank you very much. OK, so we had a brilliant day yesterday, and we've asked you to fill in some of these widgets. Now, if you're new, you might not know what these are, and these are interactive tools. So what you can do is you'll see there's a map, there's a word cloud, there's all sorts of questions. And it's really important for us to know who's out there live right now, and what level you're studying, which subject you're studying, etc. So the chat's one way to talk to us, but the other way is to use these widgets. Now, at the moment, we see that everyone's been to a Student Hub Live before. I'm not quite sure about that. So if you haven't been to a Student Hub Live, do engage with the widgets. Just select the one that you'd like to vote on, and then all you do is press what applies to you and then submit to send it. Now, when you do that, you can also see what everyone else has put at home, so there's an added advantage in doing so. If there's a word cloud, which is like 3 things, you need to put 3 things in, or it just won't send. So if you can only think of 1 or 2, that is fine, but just put a full stop at the end and then your results will submit. We had some brilliant comments yesterday. Just like to pick a few highlights. Deborah said, thanks for the session. I have quite a shopping list now. Yeah, see, that was possibly the stationery session. Emma said she thoroughly enjoyed the quiz, even though she came late. And Isa said it was lots of fun. She'd never played before. Juliana enjoyed it and said it was a funny way to learn. Libby says, can't we have tutorials based on the Wheel of Ologies quiz? Well, I think that's a very good idea, Libby. And Fazana said, thank you so much for the link. You've made this process 100% easier, and my viewing is sorted now. That's about the catch-up, so I hope you've managed to catch up on all of the content from yesterday. And Fazana said, after watching that video, I emailed my tutor. It gave me the confidence to do so. So yesterday we were talking about the excitement and some of the anxiety around OU Study, and everyone was sharing their help and advice. So if you're a level 2 student, remember what it was like when you first joined, and the new students would really appreciate your advice and experience and tips. So please do put those in the chat. Right, let's have a look at that word cloud and see how you're all feeling right now. So we've got some wonderful upbeat words here, like excited, happy, tired, keen, ready to learn, hormonal, enjoying the chat, alert, overwhelmed, happy, full tummy, sociable. Oh, whoop, whoop, eager, excited, happy. So lots of lovely mixed emotions there, but thanks for filling all of those out. And if you've got anything that you'd like us to clarify that can make your studying more easy and take some of that stress away, do let us know in the chat. OK, my first session is with Nicola Beer. We're going to be talking about using student feedback to transform the library. The library, one of the best kept secrets at the Open University, although we're telling everybody about it at the Student Hub Live, and a lot of people might know about some of the things you do. But in this session, we wanted to talk about student feedback, because normally you guys give information out to students, which we love and appreciate a lot, but you're actually interested in receiving some. So what are you after, and why is that important?
Right. So I suppose we're being a little bit cheeky because we really want to get some feedback from students.
OK.
So we actually, over the past, have got feedback in all sorts of ways from different students, and we use it to make the library better. So when we get good feedback, it means that we can make sure that we keep doing the same things, that we don't stop doing what works. And when we get some that's not so good, it just means that we can find some ways to make it better for students. So we really, really want to hear what people think about the library. And there are loads of different ways that students can do that. But one of the easiest ways at the moment, which we'd really love everyone to do, is to come along to our brand new online training sessions and tell us what they think.
Right, what are these online training sessions? You've had some of these last night, didn't you?
We did.
Yes. How did it go?
Oh, brilliant. We had so over 100 students to some of them, so it's really lively, really good fun. And basically these sessions, we have just rewritten them all. So the university's just changed the tool that they use for delivering tutorials.
Oh yeah, I love it. It's so easy to use.
It's brilliant. It's a really nice new tool, and we thought, this is a good opportunity. Let's see what students actually want and what they need, and we'll rewrite them and we'll start again. So we did some work with our student panel, and we found out what kind of things they wanted, what length they wanted, what topics we should be covering.
Wow.
Yeah. So we basically completely rewrote them, and we've got these 5 new sessions, and they're only half an hour long, so they're nice and short. So you can, usually find time in your day to come along to a half-hour session or catch up with a recording. And we've got one that's like an introduction to the library. So that's just find out what the library is and what we do.
Yeah.
We've got how to use library search for your assignment. So library search is our search tool, and that's just about how you can make sure that you're finding the right stuff for your assignments. We've got one on referencing, so we know students really wanted one on referencing.
They love learning about referencing.
Yeah, and that's been really popular already. And we also have a couple, one on picking the right information for your assignment. So if people came along to Helen and Wendy's session yesterday on fake news, yes, they'll probably recognise some of the stuff in that. So it's kind of a similar vein, but a bit more academic.
Okay.
And then the last one is kind of for level 3 students and higher, all about how you can use our databases for a bit more specialist searching.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
excellent.
So really big range. And what we're doing, so we're running, we've got 2 tonight, so 7 o'clock, introduction to library services, and then there's a little break for you to fill out the feedback form.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. And then at 8 o'clock, we're running the how to use library search for you to find information for your assignment. So really, really great. Students come along to that, and then at the end we'll post a link to a feedback form.
Brilliant.
Fill it out, let us know what you think. And as an added incentive, if you do that before the 16th of October, then there's a prize draw to win a £20 Amazon voucher. So
fab.
Good reasons
So
to
you've
do
got
it.
lots and lots of sessions. HJ, can you make a note of that to remind people for later when they finished at the Student Hub Live tonight? They can pop along to that library session. And we've got the list of those on the Student Hub Live website.
Jane
so
said
do check those
she
out.
went to 2 of the sessions as well, and she found them really fun. So it's good to have that recommendation there as well. And I'm still looking for my blanket, though. Do we have any ideas about that?
You're not allowed any power naps before at least 11:30, HJ.
That blanket is mine now.
Yes, everyone's got blankets. I don't know what we started here, but it's at least it's not eating for once. So, Nicola, you've got all these sessions and you're interested in feedback to improve these sessions. But what if people don't know what's good? Like, you know, it's like sometimes people say, well, would you like to give feedback? And I think, well, I don't really know, so I'm not going to. You know, how would you encourage students to take part? Because I guess you're experts at sort of asking the right questions to get that feedback. You're not expecting them to sort of arrive with a sort of barrage of demands, although I probably could have a few.
Yes, that's a really good point. And so we do have, so the feedback form has got some questions in, so that's nice and simple, you follow that through.
Yeah.
But there are loads of other ways to give us feedback as well. So I mentioned the student panel.
Yeah.
So that is for when we need to do some kind of quite rigorous research, we have a student panel, which is about 500 students across the university at any one time. And that we get involved with them. We do things like focus groups. We get them to do usability testing, where we use eye tracking software and all sorts to see what they're doing on the library website. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So with that, that's quite structured, and it's probably the most formal way that we get feedback. But that is because we need to have a really good kind of overview of the university population as a whole. That is invitation only. So, so students might not get an opportunity to do that, but if they do, we'd really recommend that they get involved. But if you don't get invited to the student panel, then there are loads of other ways. So you can just send us a tweet, just you know, or on Facebook, just a really short comment, just like.
You've got a great Facebook page as well, and you do Facebook Live events on that. I follow it.
Yeah, we do quite a few Facebook Live things. So that's a really great way. Just send us like a really short comment, the kind of thing that you're used to sending to friends. That's perfect. You can also, there's a feedback form on the website, so you can fill that out, or you can, and this is probably my favourite way, is to send us a love letter or a breakup letter.
A love letter or a breakup letter? Well, that's a bit unusual. I've never been asked for feedback like that before.
These are awesome. So it's actually a research technique that's used quite a lot, usually in the industry kind of world. And it's brilliant because what it does is it gets you to write to kind of a product or a service, so in this case the library, but compose your letter as though you're either completely in love with it or you're really not happy and you want to break up with them. And it gives us a really good insight into kind of the emotions that you're feeling about a particular thing. So it tells us really well, you know, what you like about the library and what you want us to do more of, and what students really, really value, which is important because then we'll keep doing it. But it also tells us, you know, what's really frustrating students and what is making them think, oh, this is just too much, I can't carry on. So they're really helpful. So I have got an example.
Okay, good. And I'm assuming that there's no referencing going on in love letters, so it's really easy to write. You can write the first person, you can use value-laden language and all that sort of stuff we know people love.
Yes, you could do whatever you want. There's no references, and we'd encourage images.
Okay, good. So let's see what you've got.
Okay. So here's one that was sent in. So, oh, you library, how do I love thee? Let me count the ways. You lured me in with your world-class resources, and suddenly I was hooked and spending hours a day with you. You indulged my love of my subject, and we've been on many adventures together. You're so helpful and understanding too. You know that sometimes I need to step away from our relationship and spend time in my local university library. Sorry about that. You not only understood this need, but you helped me to join the Sconnell Access Scheme. You are truly the best, and I love you. Never leave me. Yours forever.
Is that from Richard Brown? He's one of our colleagues in arts who does a lot on Middle English poetry.
I'd love to get one from him.
Yeah. We should email him.
You should encourage it. So it would be great if people want to send us some of those. It'd be fabulous, particularly if you feel like sending in some pictures as well.
Oh, fab. Okay, so this is a really creative way. There are easier ways, and we've got a widget for people at home to fill in, asking them how they feel about library services. Shall we see what they said?
Yes.
Okay,
Great.
They love it. It's awesome. Appreciate it. Helpful. some people are saying that they're confused, impressed, scared, want to live there. Oh, well, that's a bit... I don't think you're allowed to live there because security come round in the evening. I've seen them. I've been kicked out before. In awe of it, happy, unclear, a little confusing. Oh, OK. Love the help desk. Oh, the help desk. That's a really important thing. We should tell people about that who don't know, because there's some new students out there now.
Yes, the help desk is brilliant. So it's basically a group of people like me, so all librarians, and we answer your emails and your phone calls, and we have web chat as well. Yeah. So basically any questions at all that you've got. So we have lots of kind of self-help stuff on the library website, so you can have a look around there, see if you can find the answer. If you can't, or you just want to talk to someone, then get in contact and we'll see what we can do. And the really good thing is that the web chat is actually 24/7. So if you're trying to do your assignment in the middle of the night, or you need help with referencing like half an hour before it's due in, you can use the web chat at any time and someone will be there to help.
Oh, no, it's fantastic. Well, Nicola, we've got a lot of art students in today. 50% of our students say that they're studying arts, and a lot of them are at level 1. Now, I wanted to sort of go back to this whole these online sessions tonight, in particular because, well, hopefully the art students will be writing you some lovely poetry as well and love letters. But although you never know, some of the other subjects may like to take a break from their rigorous approaches and again write something like this. But these sessions tonight, for people who've never logged on to the tutorial system before, because it's really easy to do, can you just tell them what they might expect if they rock up to one of your sessions this evening?
Yeah, so what you do, so there's a link on the library website to get to the session, and I expect we'll also be posting them on social media.
To book in or not?
You don't need to book.
Okay, just turn up.
All you do is you turn up. So the room opens about 15 minutes beforehand. Okay. You just click on the link, join the room. Yeah. Always a good idea. So there is a little description of kind of basic advice before you join the room. So things like remember to plug in your headset if you're using your headset.
Get your cake and your cup of tea.
Get your cake and cup of tea. We're always important. We're always in the room beforehand, letting you know how long we've got to go and just generally welcoming everyone. Yeah. And we do usually do a little reminder, oh, you've got 10 minutes, now's the time to go grab a cuppa, or go to the loo, or do whatever you need to do. But other than that, that's really all you need to do. You just need to turn up at the right time, wait in the room. We've got, so before the session starts, we've got a little slideshow that's up that gives you kind of little bits of advice about how to get the most out of Adobe Connect. So there are things that you can do, like raise your hand or send us an emoticon and have a wave.
We were talking about that yesterday.
Yeah, you can have a rave in the chat. There is a chat box as well, so you can get chatting to people. This is actually a really good way to meet people, because sometimes, you know, apart from things like this, you don't get to see your fellow students very often. So if you're there a little bit early, then you can use the chat to kind of talk to each other and
much like this today. So people who like this might like that.
Definitely. Yeah, I think they'll love it.
Excellent. All right. So HJ and Lee, any questions, and what are you guys talking about right now?
Well, one of the things we're talking about, and I've been speaking to a brand new student, Sanjita, who's starting with the OU, completely brand new, and they're a little bit nervous and a little bit worried. And one of the things they're worried about is plagiarism when writing essays, and referencing in particular, because obviously that can have issues with plagiarism. And that's something that the library can help with and has resources on, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yes. So there is some referencing and plagiarism advice on the library website. So it's under help and support, and there's a page there that's got a little bit of information and a little video with our friend Bob, who's great. So he'll tell you a little bit about what plagiarism is and how to avoid it. But generally, I would say don't worry too much. In fact, don't worry at all before you properly get started, because within your modules you'll be advised about that and what to do, and you won't just be thrown in and told, oh, you've got to reference stuff. We'll make sure that you know how to do it and that you know why you're doing it and when to do it. And as I said, we've got that online session now, which is about referencing. I can't remember when the next one is, but I think my colleague Manda's on the chat, so she can tell us when our next one is on referencing. And basically, it's a case of don't panic. It's not as hard as you think, and we've got loads and loads of help and support and advice. And if you can't find the information that you need, as I said, contact the help desk, and we'll make sure that you're okay. So.
And especially at level 1, you're not expected to be able to reference comprehensively. As long as you have a go and follow the guidance, I often sort of try and get the structure and then sort of apply it to the chapter I'm looking at. And, once you get the hang of it, it's quite simple. The thing, I guess, that Sunita might be talking about is knowing when to reference, and this idea of plagiarism, like taking ideas and sort of credit for something that isn't really yours. And you can do that in a number of ways by, paraphrasing stuff, like just changing every third word, or not crediting the source.
Yeah, absolutely. So I suppose particularly at level 1, you're probably mostly going to be using the module materials.
Yeah.
So sometimes it might seem quite difficult when you're just using the module materials to make sure that you're kind of using your own words.
Yeah.
But it's quite important to try and do that. And as long as you put in a reference to the module materials, and the OU Harvard Guide tells you how to do that, and it will probably be on your module website, tell you how to do that. And at the beginning, it's all about building up your skills. So no one's going to shout at you and tell you you can't have your degree because you got it a little bit wrong in the beginning.
Yeah.
You learn by mistakes. So, it's really not something to panic about.
And you guys feed into the modules, so as students are progressing, they'll have some study skills, and the library sort of embed things as you go through the modules so that, people get the hang of it as they're working through. So don't worry about it, Sunita. HJ, any other questions?
Yes, I just like that people have been attending the sessions and they've really enjoyed them. So Jane's planning to attend tonight, and Melanie found the referencing session really helpful, and she tuned in last week, so that's really great to hear. And Sally says she found the web chat really useful, and she was finding out about the library cards and how to get access to her local uni library. And there's some people interested in that. If you could tell us about that.
Yes, was this the Sconnell thing?
Yes, that's the Sconnell scheme that was mentioned in the love letter. So it's a brilliant scheme. It's basically the university is a member of this scheme, which means that our students can join, and then they'll get a little email and we'll send them a library card, and they can go away and take that to a university library near them and join up there. So then you can use a study space and you can borrow books. I think probably the study space is the most valuable bit. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
It's nice. You get a nice quiet space to work in. And to do that, there is a form on the library website. So it's under Services for You, and you go to Students, and then Libraries Near You.
Yeah.
And there's lots of information there about how to fill out the form, because it can be a little bit confusing because it's the same form for all of the universities.
Right, so
and
it's a
standard form,
right.
And we're distance learning students, and you don't get an OU card. So there's some advice there about what to put in those fields, which sometimes can trick people up. But otherwise, it's a really easy form. There's no charge. Completely free.
Brilliant.
Completely free.
Just fines to pay if you take your books back later.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, there's more questions. We've only got 3 minutes left, so I'd like to try and plough through what we've got. HJ.
Yes, Halima has a great question and says, if I want to visit the library at Walton Hall, Milton Keynes, would I need a card to get in? Can we visit?
Ooh, good question. You can visit.
You're not allowed to bring your iron.
No extreme ironing in the library. I don't think security would like that. Anyone's welcome to visit. You don't need a card to get in. You can come in and use the space. If you want to borrow books, then you just need to fill out the registration form on the website. Or if you've signed up for Scholar and you've been sent a card, then you can use that card. But yeah, it's very simple. Anyone that wants to can come.
And a lot of students do, actually. People are always studying nice and quietly in the library, and it is a really, really nice space.
It is. It's brilliant. And yeah, it is very quiet, which I think is the kind of the amazing impact of libraries, because actually we get a lot of students who come in with their children, particularly during the holidays, and it's still very quiet, and you've never seen such well-behaved children with colouring in whilst their parents get on with studying. So.
We're all very jealous of Sarah, whose local library has Wi-Fi and cake. So that's like, where are you living, Sarah? We'll come down there. Gladstone, sorry. OK, good. That's Gladstone's library in Harvard. OK, excellent. Any other final things that you want to tell our audience about today, Nicola?
I think we've covered quite a lot, so I think what I really just want to reiterate is please come along to our training sessions and please fill out the feedback form so that we can make sure that they're kind of exactly what you need.
You guys do really, really care about students. You do give a really good service, again, with so many different things, from this managing your social media to the referencing, literature searches. There's an awful lot there. So, yeah, thank you. Excellent. All right, well, that's all we've got time for in this session. We're now going to show you this rave that we had in the library. And for those of you, this might come across a little bit odd, but basically, at a Student Hub Live event a little while ago, you guys at home said that we should go over to the library and have a rave there, because the librarians kept telling us to be quiet. But because it's a library, we had to have a silent rave. Anyway, this is what we did. We'll see you back in the next session, where we're going to be talking about using feedback and volunteering with the Open University. So join me in that next session in a couple of minutes.